Hello, everybody. What should I do? Should I just do this once a week for about 45 minutes and you just get one show and you get all excited for next week? What's he going to do? For those who are interested. You like the picture in the back? Well, one of these pictures that I've done, this one took about 100 hours. But one of them that I did all started off because I left my cigarette on it. So I designed all the way around it. What I wanted to talk about today is Roman numerals, and I will not get deeply into this, okay? I have not prepared anything. The word first and last, they both end in ST. I've done this before. You see, when you come first, then what about 21st or 31st? But when you hit 11, it's not 11 first, because it's not 11 that comes first. It's from the first and the second, you create the third, you have the fourth. With the fourth, okay, which is the angel, okay, you now have a man, because the man has to be created when the angel is created. So then you have 10. Now you add one spirit. It's an added. It's not a first. That's why the 11th is TH and not ST. It's not 11 first. First is first. 11th is an add-on of the spirit. It's the add-on of the 1 first. Becomes the 11th. Adding on to the 4 and the 6, now we have the 11th. We have 4th, which is TH, along with 5th, all the way to 20th, IETH, 20th, 19th, TH, 20th, IETH. Like friend, IE, because it's the I, you, in the electronic world, in the world of correction, in the correctional center of man, CCM. Oh, CCM, isn't that hockey, red, white, and blue? You got the same cards. Anyways, then we go ahead, we have the 21st century, okay, 21st century. We couldn't do it in the 14th century. This is all set up to happen in the 21st century. 22nd century is what we're actually in. It's set up in the 21st, but it ends actually in the 22nd. Second means life, which means a new beginning. So 21.99, or the year 2199, you're already in the 22nd, so you can't go past 22 actually. Now you can't actually even go past 20, the year 20. I should have figured this out before, but there's an exact calculation for Y 2000 and X. Let's say 2011 to 2015. As the 22 right away, 2000 to get to 2022. You have the beta of the new life. So it has to happen 7 years before the 22. Now, that makes more sense. What must happen? Well, 2012. You see, 22 means life, okay? Which 22 would be a beginning of life. So how can we go into the 21st century, in 2011 that we're in, and, okay, sustain a new life? We're not finished this life. So 2022 has to be for sure a new scenario. Now, how many years before that does this end and re-begin? Well, -7. On the 7th day we would rest, the 22nd year, 2022. Back it up 7 years, 2015 would be the new beginning. So we have between now and 2015 to try and figure out whatever's going on. I went into a store today. Okay, but before I do that, I just want to show you just a little design that started. You see that design? It looks like an X and an X and an X. In the center is a Magen David. That all started out as an omega sign, and that's what it ends up to be when you cover all the corners. Why do we cover all 9 corners? Well, it's all the 9 corners of the world, in which we don't live in all 9 corners until death, when we go north and south. So we live in 7. You live in 7 or you live in 9. 7 times 9, 63. 63 moons on Jupiter. Jupiter, 5th planet, 5 and 2. I'm still confused whether 5 is male and 2 is female, although it works out that way all the time. The 5th planet is Jupiter. We have the sun and we have the moon. Reflect all the planets against your body parts. What would be the sunshine on your body part? And what would be the moonshine on your body part? All your joints, all your eyeballs, whatever you have in hair or hair on your beard has something to do with the universe. Not only that, we can make it even smaller. It has something to do with our planet. But when you broaden it out and you find the heart, let's say, in us, what is the heart of the universe? Then connect one dot to the next dot. Eventually, you'll probably end up shaping yourself. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about is that when you take two fleur-de-lis and you put their butts together, okay, it seems to create a 3 this way and a 3 to the right and a 3 to the left. Then you think of the 3. 3, 3, 33. That was the death of Jesus. Create, command. 3, 3. The 3 is also like an E. So 3E would be 3, the third creation, in the E world, the electronic world. Or the E is the 5th letter, so we'll switch the 3 to an E, and then from an E to a 5, instead of having CC or 33 or EE, we'd have 5, 5. So now we take 5, 5 and put it on 3, 3, we have 8, 8. So now connect that to the piano of the first 3, because they're on each side of the chin of the fleur-de-lis, we would have 3. So 88 and 3 is 91. 91, 91 is 273. And that is the creation of the 2 lights. And that's how the pedals of the piano works, along with the 88 keys. Another thing I wanted to talk about, what am I talking about? I'm just talking and throwing anything in the air. Have you ever seen a white bear before? Well, I take off my shirt, and I'd be white, and I'd be bear. Now, we want to know how to spell bear. Well, it's easy. B-A-I-R, bear. Beta, creator female of the air. The air is God. He's the white air we breathe. He's the white ghost that we never see. He's the mist that's right now outside. We can see him now in the rain. From the difference in temperature, it's hard for him to hide. So he becomes the mist. So what do we see? We see another song, Misty Whatever, with Misty Rainbow. There was a song I was singing. I went up to Mont Tremblant. Mont in French means to climb up. Mont also sometimes means an abbreviation for mountain. But what's a tremblant? I'm in Quebec. What's a tremblant? Sometimes they say tremblement de terre, which means an earthquake. Tremblant mountain, which would be a quaking mountain, a mountquake. Mountain. I see, I'm in the face of the mountain. So Mont Tremblant, the word blanc, would mean white. And I'm on the face of the mountain, or I see the face of the mountain, therefore it's White Face Mountain. But wait a second, that's in New York, so we had to name it something different. Being in northern Quebec, we'll call it Mont Tremblant. But somebody also beat them to it. Or did they? Because Mont Blanc is already White Face Mountain. So we've got one scary, shaking, trembly, Madame Tremblay, something trembling in the mountains of Mont Tremblant. What is the secret of those mountains? It's something more than it actually is, and what it is I do not know. But the name tells usually the story. As every name, as I said, started off as a... And that's the whole sentence. What else do I want to do? These 2 signs here. One of them, okay, that's on my pointer finger, that's the afterlife. Well, you can read it, it shows up. The other one is the east-west light, okay? Like I've said before, the reason why the swastika shows up is because it turns this way and this way. So you know you've heard of the shimmering light in the sky. Well, that shimmering light happens to show both ways of what happened. So that's why some of us get a little bit mixed up, because it was one action before 2 actions from the same action maker. I mean, you can have 100 actions happening from 100 different action makers, but one element can only make one action before the next action happens from the same element, unless it releases one action into 2 different parts, making 2 actions happening, but it's still one action creator. One action. You want to buy an action? You buy it on the stock market. You want to get into action? You got to get a move on and go and get with it, whatever that action is you want. What else was I thinking? Coffee beans. At 30 degrees south of the equator and north of the equator, you can find Arabian coffee beans. Arabian, what a great name. Not only do you get part of Colombian in it, and anything with a B-I-A-N or a Bilan has a story to it. Now, but if I go 55 degrees from north and south of the equator, I end up in the ocean. Now, if I go 55 degrees south of the equator, on one part of the world I'll be in the ocean, another part of the world I'll be in Brazil, and I did not study the rest of it. Because it's very important, 30, 45 degrees, 30, 45, and 55 degrees. Something in the Bible must be in code about that. There's degrees in the Bible. I know they're hidden in letters, maybe in a word that shouldn't be there. To who had they and they had he. So in one of those words, it's actually they repeat that one word 3 times. Don't forget, you repeat a one word 3 times, you make a triangle. Repeat that same word 4 times, you create a square. Now, this is what I want to get to now. Like, God is out there, and what's he doing? He's trying to trap space. He's trying to give space a reason. Okay, so I know I'm jumping around a little bit. So God gives space a reason, okay? Because if he doesn't, somebody else can come in there and do what it wants. That's why land could not be owned by one person. Unless that one person can take care of all his land, he cannot put 4 corners up. Therefore, the land that he is not taking care of has to be taken away. Because on earth, you have to take care of all the land and all the corners. Maybe that's why they had that to separate the lands from the natives. But I know there's a bigger story to that, and I don't want to get into that, because I don't know much of the history, so it's not for me to talk about what happened with them. I just know something big must have happened. Anyways, right now, you can't take away man's land. Otherwise, you have to make him a slave. Why? Because if we don't take care of the land they let us live on, it's going to all turn to S-H-I-T. Okay? And so they're going to have to make us slaves or just get rid of us. So then who's going to take care of the land? Then they're going to have to work. So instead of having that big guideline sign saying 500 million, it'll mean 500 million elite, and the rest of us will be mice in the field. We'll be doing absolutely nothing but working just like they do in Cuba and getting absolutely nothing for it. Is that what we want? That's not what we want. You go up to the moon, you put a flag there, do you own the moon? Are you taking care of the moon? What you take care of, you can call your own. What you don't take care of, even if it's your own son, if you don't speak to him ever, and you don't take care of him ever, how much of a son is he to you if you haven't taken care of it? So you became alienated. The posts went up. It was the borders between you. Instead of the borders around you bringing you together, it's the borders between you. I was thinking of something about the heels of my feet, the heels of my shoes, diamonds on the heels of your shoes. Telling you, the whole story is out there. God has put it in every game, on the words of a cigarette pack, okay, on the edge of my white lighter, even on this. It's in blue and white. It means beta creation, and it erases, it corrects. We're in the correctional world, and we've got the right colors. We don't have any red. We don't need any red. This is the correctional world. It does it all by itself. We're the spirit connected. We're the yellow you don't see. We scratch it off from usually what they mark as yellow pencils. What's next? Oh, this tape is basically over. I'm just telling you, you've got to believe it's hidden. Whatever, it depends how they design the shape, how they make the circle, how they say a word. Everything is there. When somebody lies, his lies are in the words he speaks, in the gestures he makes, in the moves and his thoughts. You can read them eventually, but we don't always want to believe everybody's lying, so we take it even. And we see the equator, and low to the north or high to the south of where his truth is, of the words he speaks. Raphael ben Laser Lipa, 7286 from Nebula 5281, 1521 years before time ever started, 7286, 1521.